Okay, I'm live. All right. Hello world, it's your girl Bambi back again. Sorry for the delay. I know it's been like a month. I'm not sure if anybody's on right now. I'm trying to do the lighting. I feel like I look super bright. So I'm gonna just jump right into it real quick. So I've been holding back on this particular video because I feel like it's super important. Um, Men's mental health is something that's not spoken about freely. It's almost like a stigma in society and the way we've grown up, depending on your household. So I think it's super important subject to talk about. So when I put this subject or topic out there, I was hit with, what do you know about men's mental health? You're a female. Why are you doing it on males and not females? So the reason I'm picking this particular topic again is because I feel like it's something that's not spoken enough about. There should be better support systems. I think as women, we have a lot of outlets and a lot of different support systems. And unfortunately, men don't have that same outlet or support systems that are put in place for women. So I'm also coming from a space of like kind of being a ghetto therapist. I have male friends who luckily kind of confide in me. I make them feel safe, and I give them a space to kind of like vent and kind of speak on their problems. And so the more men that I was speaking to, I was just kind of seeing a pattern, and I'm like, wow, a lot of men don't really get to vent. It made me think about the people in their surroundings, like their family members, girlfriends, moms, sisters, cousins. What are they doing to make sure, what are we doing as women, or even like society as a group, to make sure that our men are like mentally healthy and stable? There's a lot of pressure on men to like just always be on and always be strong and always just kind of be our backbone, but we never really hear or talk about what it is that they have to go through, number one, and how we can kind of help them with that. So I'm hoping for this video and kind of like probably like my next few videos to kind of stay on this topic. I might do one in between just to kind of, lighten things up. I'm a little whatever. So, but for this video and probably for the next few, I definitely want to talk about this issue. I'm hoping I can do a feature on my next video, actually have either a man or a few men come in and kind of speak on their experiences. Real quick, background's a little different today because my neighbors decided to be loud, and it is Saturday, so they're like jamming in the back. So I asked my son if I could like be in his room. So this is why I'm in this background right now. So I'm gonna start off by like talking about my experiences and why I feel like men need more support systems and why this is kind of like such a stigma, and kind of like some of the experiences that I've been through with a few of my friends. Hi. So yeah, if you're on the chat or if you came in, please, by all means, you can always chime in. There'll be a point where I'll probably go in the chat and just, kind of we can bounce off of each other. That's the whole point, is kind of like help me help you. We can all learn from each other, right? So I'm going to start off by just giving y'all like a few of stories that I heard that I was like, damn, man, like we need to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to be better for our men. So I had a friend come to me, and he was expressing some real deep personal things. I don't want to get into much detail, but he kind of let loose, and he was kind of just like crying, and I was hugging him. We was having a moment, and so I told him, like, you don't always have to be strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so he was like, but I do. It's like I have to be strong. And so at that moment, I'm thinking to myself, like, this man has a woman, has friends, best friends, has a bunch of females around him, not just females, but males too. And I'm thinking, like, there's not one person in your life that you can feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable and let your guard down and not feel like you have to be strong. And I just felt like I'm, number one, grateful, super grateful that he was able to do that for me, with me. But man, we are messing up like big time in our society if we are expecting our men to come home and take care of everything that's supposed to be taken care of, still be that backbone, like rub our back, ask us how our day was, and be so catering. But we can't let them vent. They can't tell us their deepest, darkest secrets. What is our purpose? I mean this in the perspective of like your partner, right? What's our purpose? What's my purpose of being your girlfriend if when you come home, you can't vent to me? If I'm not able to bring you some peace and tranquility, you go outside and the minute you step out that door, you fight with the world every single day. If you're not coming home and I'm not bringing you peace and tranquility, at least a little bit, what is the point? Right? Bang. So we're going to leave that at that. That was one story. So I got my notes, my handy dandy notebook, right? Because I like to do my homework, right? And so I'm gonna touch on like therapy right now. Right, it's supposed to be your piece, right? So I'm gonna talk about therapy. So I had a friend, I had a conversation with them earlier today, and I was asking, like, what do you think about therapy? Have you been through therapy? And so he was expressing how he's been through therapy a few times in his life. A couple were mandatory, and then one was for self. He brought up a very, very good point. When you're going for a therapist, or when you're choosing a therapist is like choosing a girlfriend. You have to make sure that you guys relate and you're able to feel comfortable with that person. So I guess the first person wasn't relatable. The first therapist that he went through wasn't relatable. And then the second person was way more relatable. So he said the second person just kept it real with him. Like they were talking in the language that they understood. So he also mentioned that even though all of his family and friends were saying the same thing the therapist said, it was almost like because this therapist had that professional background, he was able to listen to them more. He also stated that the first therapist was just listening to him. And he was like, I need feedback. Like, I want to know how to come up with solutions. So that second therapist was able to give him feedback. So I think that when you go for therapy, or if you are thinking about going for therapy, it is super important to find someone that fits you. Like you can say, no, I don't want, it's just like going to the doctors. If you find a doctor, like he said, a girlfriend, it was great that he put it in the relationship terms. Like, you're not just gonna put up with any chick just to put up with any chick. Like, oh, okay, like you got tits and ass. No, like she has to have substance. She has to have something that you can relate to, right? You want to make sure that she's able to, you can feel comfortable with her. So it's even more, you need to feel super duper comfortable with this therapist, because you will be sharing things with that person that you probably never shared with anybody else. And you want to make sure that you're able to be in a safe place. If I'm going too fast, you can tell me, because I talk fast. I'm Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? So it's super important for you to feel like you're in a safe place, that you can speak to them about anything, or even if you feel uncomfortable, you should be able to let them know you feel uncomfortable. I think therapy is important, but it's also there's a bad stigma against it when it comes to either the way you've grown up or the way society deems it for men. So for this in particular, I always do my homework. If you've seen my videos before, you'll know that I go and I ask people out. The only thing I didn't do was go on the internet for that. I'm sorry, that's the only thing I didn't do. But other than that, I definitely asked a bunch of men this question, and most of them had kind of like the same thing. Growing up, it was looked at like it was weak. Like you just have to roll with the punches. You have to learn how to grow up on your own. Hold on, see, this is where my handy dandy notebook comes in, right? Wait. Let me get my shit together. All right. So, all right, so let me just go back. So not growing up, so I lose my thoughts sometimes, right? I ain't perfect. Damn, where was I? Anybody doing, like, y'all can help me here, right? I really just lost my train of thought. Like I really did. Yeah, so we're gonna bump all of that, right? And we're just about to go right into like what my friend was saying. He was talking about growing up with a father. He wasn't communicative. And so because of that, he wasn't able to communicate when he had an issue or not. So growing up like that, um, he didn't know how to repress his feelings. So because of that, a lot of the people's his family members and stuff like that grew up trying to find different vices to kind of like suppress those type of feelings, whether that be alcohol, weed, drugs, being abusive towards the women that they're with, or just being overly aggressive. So I think that the way you're brought up and the way, not just the way you brought up, because I also spoke to someone else and they said it's also a choice. So it could be pride. If you think getting therapy or getting help or speaking to someone about your issues is looked at as weak, then, and you don't have an outlet to let those feelings out, those feelings are still inside of you and you're not letting them out. So they got to come out in some way. And 9 times out of 10, they end up coming out negatively, or you just try to suppress them. And regardless, they're still going to end up coming out. So you're probably going to end up taking it out on the ones that you love, because that's typically what we do. We end up taking it out on the people that we love. And there's people who are locked up right now, probably doing life because they suppress feelings and they don't know how to, or they don't know how to find the support or an outlet, or even speak to people. How do you start that conversation with somebody? You know what I'm saying? On how do you get that help? I was just talking to my kid's father, and he was like, there's not enough funding. There's not enough education on it. On where do you go? Where do you start to try to get that help? So say there's a man and he wants to know, like, where I have these issues, you know, like, where do I go? And if you don't have anybody that's been through that before, it's scary. You know, someone told me you got to be brave. You got to be brave to try to get that help. You have to be, because they said it's embarrassing. And I was like, well, what's embarrassing about it? And I don't think that it's embarrassing. I think it's just the stigma that the society put on you, or that thought that you have in your head that if I go to therapy or if I get this mental help, then that means that I'm weak. I'm less of a man, you know, like they're supposed to be on. I don't understand how society just expects men to be on all the time. Like, I'd be losing my shit like 10 times, probably 100 to be honest, right? But where do men get to actually unload? They don't get to do it at home. Like, okay, bang. So say you got your girlfriend and you unload on your girlfriend. Who do you bitch to about your girlfriend? Because you can't bitch to her about her. So this is where either therapy, supportive friends, family members come in. What else did we talk about? Always feeling like men need to be on. Men don't always need to be on. I think the more we're aware of the pressures that society put on, and not just the pressures, but us as people, as women, if we are more aware of the pressures that we put on men, then maybe we can start to make that change to make it a little bit easier for them. Like fuck, just even asking like, how was your day? Like, talk to me. Give a fucking hug. You know what I'm saying? I feel like hugs cure everything. That's just my personal opinion. But it's, if your mental isn't right, then nothing else is gonna go right. You can look like you have $1 million, you can have the flies gear, you know what I'm saying? You can have all the money in the world. But if mentally in your head you're fucked up, there's nothing no one can do for you. Another thing I heard too was you gotta want that help. You gotta know that you gotta be open and ready to receive that help. Like my friend said, 100 people told him the same thing. But then once this therapist said it to him, he was like, oh, leave the bitch. That's right. I'm just going to leave this bitch. So he wasn't ready and wasn't open to receive that information until he went to this therapist. And if that's what it takes for you to tell your story 100 fucking times, do that. But because of this stigma that we have, that men aren't supposed to be that way and they're weak if they do that and they can't be vulnerable. This is bullshit, to be honest. Like, and I'm not even gonna say excuse my language, because if you know me, you know me. You know my ass be swearing. It's bullshit. But you expect him to be on all the time, but he can't be vulnerable. Like, there's two sides to it. We as women, we sit there and we can cry, but then we could be tough too, and we want to wear the pants in the fucking house. That shit don't make no sense. So why can't he be vulnerable? Why can't he have a moment to himself? We all have masculine and feminine in us. And that doesn't mean that you're a girl if you're a guy, or you're a man if you're, and no, that doesn't mean that. That means we all are sensitive, whether we like to admit that shit or not. We all have our down point moments, whether we like to admit that or not. But who the fuck do you go to when you have those down moments? And even more as a man, who do you go to when you have those problems? We have to do better is what I'm saying. And I want this to be a segue for an open conversation. I want my next video to have hopefully a few different type of men come on and just give their opinions on the shit that they have to go through daily, from the minute they wake up to the minute they go to sleep. Like, shit's hard out here. And like, we ain't even talking about race. Like, I ain't even ready for that topic, right? Like, because I just ain't ready for that backlash right now. But it's super, super hard for men in general because of the things that people put out there, the way that they have to live, everything they have to go through. I mean, like, think about it. Let's think about it real quick. You're a man, right? Let's say a man with kids. Let's say he's not with his kid's mother. You have to worry about child support. You got to worry about baby mama drama. You got to worry about your friends, your family. Like, I know people that have gone through shit, like real life and death shit, right? And then still had to go home and take care of their peoples. Like, I'm like, what? Man, no, my ass is like, like, I ain't doing shit. But because they are the man or the man of the house, they don't have a choice. It's not a choice to go lay down and take a vacation. No, they got to be on all the time. They got to take care of their kids. They got to take care of mom. They got to take care of sis. They got to take care of their daughter. They got to take care, even other friends. They got to be there for their friends. Do you know how hard it is? And I don't know if a lot of men don't know about having healthy boundaries, but there's this, like, again, all I can say is, like, the way you grow up, the stigma society has, the way you think. If you don't think highly of yourself, if your worth isn't there, if you're not self-aware, if you're not in tune with yourself, you will allow everything, all the negative shit that I just said, to transpire. And imagine you having an unsupportive fucking girl when you go home. Like, and you think that's just the fucking normal. It's not. It's really not. So I'm gonna go back to my notes. Hopefully I can, like, gather my thoughts real quick so I'm not repeating the same shit over and over. But, like, yeah. So it's a precedent. Yeah. Okay, we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, that was another thing too. Mental health, when someone needs mental health, is it's not visible. You know, it's not like you could see that they need mental health or that they have a mental. Sometimes it is, obviously, right? Sometimes you can see the crazy in someone, but sometimes it's not visible. Sometimes people could sit there, and I think men do this best the most. They put a smile on their face and they keep it pushing because they don't have a choice, or they feel like they don't have a choice. And I personally think that's really fucked up. I think that if you have a man in your life that you see that just kind of rolls with the punches and just keeps a smile on his face and you know, and just tries to keep everyone around him happy, I mean, check in on him. Like, just ask him how he's doing. Like, ask him if there's anything on his chest that he needs to let go. And you know what's important? Fucking listening. That's one thing a lot of my friends can say about me, especially my male friends, is that I fucking listen. It takes and costs nothing to listen to someone. I mean, obviously you have to be trustworthy and create a safe place for them to do it. But just give to them what you would expect in return. If you was telling them something and you was being vulnerable with them, give them a safe place for them to just let loose and just fucking, like, if they fucking gotta cry, let them fucking cry. I love having crying moments. It just, is so relieving. Like when you cry, next 9 times out of 10, by the time you stop crying, you feel better. So it kind of sucks. I think women or just people in general, if you have a man, a young man, a boy who is coming and telling you something that's deep within them, let them vent. Like let them speak their mind. It costs nothing to listen. If they ask you for your opinion and you don't have an opinion to it, it's okay to tell them, like, I really don't know, but maybe we could find this out together. But maybe you can help them. I mean, I didn't choose to be a ghetto therapist. The ghetto therapist chose me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful that I have friends who are able to call me and rely on me for really tough, hard moments. And 9 times out of 10, usually by the time they get off the phone with me, they are feeling way better. They're like, um, they usually are very grateful and appreciative, and they always come back for more. But yeah, so like right now, I'm gonna go into the chat. Like, if you guys want to say anything, you guys have any type of feedback, by all means, please tell me what you think. I have a bunch more stuff, but oh yeah, this one thing. This one thing was and it was funny, very ironic. It was like my kid's father and one of my friends had said having a solid woman who is trustworthy and solid to be your backbone is super important to have a healthy mind for a man. My kid's father said, there's nothing you can't do if you have a solid woman behind your back. To like, he's like, you could conquer the world. And so my friend also said the same thing, which was kind of like ironic for me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know who you are. But yeah, I'm gonna continue this topic. I want to go for an hour. I might just cut it off right here because I don't want to keep talking about the same thing over and over. It is a great topic. I think my next video, I'm definitely going to do a feature, have a man who probably has been through therapy, and then a man who's kind of like against it, and just kind of do the feedback from that. I'm just coming from a woman who is totally concerned and would want people to be more aware of the mental health of the men that we have around us. We are trying to raise and be around good, healthy men. And we have to lead by example in a sense and make sure that they're good. If you see a man, if you have a brother, if you have a husband, if you have a friend, if you have any fucking guy, any guy that like, be a little nicer, stop bitching, or like, I'm definitely going to try to stop bitching, you know what I'm saying? But, more importantly, just ask them how their day was, ask them if they need to get something off their chest. I mean, if you have the space for it, I'm very big on like your energy and shit like that. So if you have the energy, you have the space for it, you're mentally healthy enough to take on, I would definitely say, let's make it a little bit easier for these men out here, because they definitely don't have it easy. They definitely don't have as many outlets as women do. I will make a video on women, but like blah, blah, blah. We'll get there when we get there, right? But as for men, they need us. They need us, especially women. They need us more than anything else, because a lot of them use us as a backbone. We are natural nurturers. And if you see a man who needs a little nurturing, what the fuck? Just fucking do it, right? I know I am, you know what I'm saying? So I need y'all to do y'all part. But as for any man or anyone who's on here, who's on my live, actually, if you want to be on a feature with me, I'm thinking like next week, next Saturday, somewhere around this time, you're available, let me know. We can like link and something different. So I think I'm gonna cut it off right there. If anybody else has something to say, by all means, I'll give you about where we at. Give about what? We'll stay on for another like 3 more minutes. We'll cut off at 8:30. But this was really good. Thank you for the turnout. Sorry I've been gone. I just really wanted to put this out there again. we will do this way more. We would get way more into it. Thank you. Thank you. Love you guys too. Thank you guys for all the support, the subscribes. I didn't expect to be where I'm at right now, especially because I've been slacking on my pimping, right? But like, I really need to come up with like a more concise like date and time. It's really hard being a one-woman show over here. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do the lighting, I gotta do the spot, and my neighbors is disrespectful. Like, so it's really hard, and like my energy be up and down. I'm always a work in progress. So I always have to make sure my energy is right because I believe in transferring energy. So, but I gotta do better. You know better as you do better. So where we at? We got 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Thank you. Yes. So we're about to turn up tonight, though. You guys probably won't see it, most likely, but yeah. Just here, just letting the time wind down. So, like, anybody want to say anything, y'all can. I was super nervous doing this video. I felt like it was my first video. Yes, get that word out. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate any type of feedback. Even if it's negative feedback, you won't learn unless you have some constructive criticism. I always appreciate any type of criticism. The one thing someone had told me was lighting. As you can see, I'm all extra bright. I'm not this light skin, okay? But the light got me looking like I'm light skin. So, but yeah, I just want to make sure that we try to tackle some real issues that are out there. I like to play around. I like to talk about sex, if you know me. I like to keep things kind of lighthearted, but there are some issues that I definitely will talk about. And this is one that won't be the first and the last time you hear from me. I'm probably going to do probably 2 or 3 videos after this one on this topic. So I just need y'all to tune in. I need y'all to like, share, subscribe, be on the chat with me. We could feature together. Like, I'm all about collaborating. I'm trying to learn how to be a little bit more social because I'm antisocial, but I'm working on it, right? So, about to log off. Thank you, everybody, for logging in. Just make sure you hug a man a little bit tighter tonight. Tell them you love them. Tell them you're here for them because, life is short. You never know. I know I am. I'm about to go hug me a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go love me a man real quick. But have a good night. Thank you, guys. And I'll see you soon. Bye.